Welcome to today's explainer. Look, let's just dive right into the material we're looking at today. I want to invite you right now to just come sit with me for a second and give that tired mind of yours a rest. Because the source author today really acknowledges the heavy load you might have been carrying. It's exhausting, right? And it's completely valid if your heart and spirit are just feeling weary. So today, we're exploring a very specific tool for when life gets to be too much and you're feeling weighed down by stress or sadness. We're talking about changing your environment, but doing it with real intention. Think about your current space for a minute. Do your walls hold the memory of your struggles? Our source material points out something so deeply human. When we're weighed down, the very places we inhabit actually start to reflect that heaviness. We tend to think of stress as something that lives purely inside our heads, right? But our physical environment literally absorbs our experiences. The text argues that places hold the memory of our struggles. Seriously, if your bedroom or your workspace has only known your sleepless nights, your anxious pacing, or, your tears, those walls can begin to feel incredibly heavy. It's like the space itself becomes a physical monument to your exhaustion. You walk into the room and your body immediately remembers the stress that happened right there. Which brings us to our first major concept from the text: breaking the stress loop. Because of that heavy memory our spaces hold, you've probably heard the advice to just change your environment. Rearrange the furniture, take a little weekend trip away from your normal routine, or maybe even start fresh somewhere entirely new. Well, the source text lays out 4 psychological benefits to shifting your scenery. First, stepping away, even for just a bit, breaks that heavy loop of stress we just talked about. Second, it makes room to breathe, letting your overworked nervous system finally take a deep breath. Third, it grants you a heavenly perspective. And fourth, it actually helps to quiet your racing thoughts. Let's see how this builds, specifically focusing on how we create that much-needed room to breathe. When we compare a cluttered, exhausting space with a fresh, clean space, the difference is immediate. Think about it. When your mind is already cluttered with deep exhaustion, everything around you feels completely overwhelming. The visual noise of your everyday environment just adds to the internal noise. But on the flip side, a fresh, clean space or a totally new environment strips that visual noise away. It literally hands your brain a moment of quiet. By getting rid of that familiar clutter, you're giving your mind a blank canvas, allowing you to finally find just a little bit of peace. And that leads directly into how we quiet what the author calls racing thoughts. The text defines this perfectly. Sadness and stress absolutely love to replay the same old heavy tapes in our minds. It's a constant loop. But when you change your physical surroundings, something fascinating happens biologically and psychologically. Your senses actually have to wake up to process the new sights, the new sounds, and the new smells. This active sensory engagement gently but firmly interrupts those cycles of worry. It forces you into the present moment, which is what really helps quiet the storm within. Next up, we transition to our second point: finding heavenly perspective. When we stay stuck in the exact same spot day in and day out, our troubles really begin to magnify. They start to look as big as mountains, completely blocking out absolutely everything else in our view. Changing your scenery, even temporarily, reminds you of a fundamental truth. The world is wide, and your troubles are only temporary. To illustrate this, the source text references some ancient wisdom from the book of Ecclesiastes. To everything there is a season. Sometimes the season you're currently in simply calls for a quiet pause in a new place. It's a gentle reminder that you don't have to carry the weight of the world forever. Sometimes you literally just need to step back and look at the changing seasons of life from a brand new vantage point. As you consider stepping into a new space to find that perspective, the author highlights a timeless promise for comfort, straight from Lamentations 3:23. His mercies are new every morning, great is thy faithfulness. Just as a new environment brings a fresh start to your senses, each new day offers a fresh start for your spirit, and you are absolutely allowed to seek out that renewal. Finally, we reach the most critical part of this explainer: the heart goes with you. Let's look at this gentle warning from the text. The text draws a pretty stark contrast here regarding your intentions. The key takeaway is this: change your environment, but don't try to run or hide from your problems. You have to ask yourself why you're changing your environment. Are you seeking breathing room to heal and pray? Or is this just a way of hiding from the healing work your spirit actually needs to do? A change of scenery is a brilliant tool for sure, but it is a terrible escape route. Because the ultimate reality we all have to face is this: wherever we go, our hearts go with us. We simply cannot run away from ourselves. You could pack up your bags and move all the way across the world, but if you don't do the internal work,
You're just going to unpack the exact same heavy tapes and racing thoughts in a different bedroom. The physical shift has to facilitate your internal work. It absolutely cannot replace it.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you changing your space to heal, or are you just trying to hide? If you're feeling weary right now, I highly encourage you to shift your scenery. Go ahead and rearrange that room. Take that trip. Give your nervous system a break. But do it with a brave intention of facing your healing, not running from it. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this material today. Take a deep breath, make a little room for yourself, and I'll see you in the next explainer.